You know what Japan really loved? America in the 80s. I mean, sure, Japan has taken many an influence from our own pop culture, but it's nothing like it was in the 80s. Today, Japan puts their own spin and mark on their stories and art, which may reflect some Western influence but are otherwise unmistakably Japanese. In the 80s, however, it seemed that creators let go entirely of the established anime aesthetic and shifted towards an American sensibility. You can obviously tell when you're watching an anime from the 80s to early 90s, and I mean beyond the obvious film degradation. Characters were broader, especially around the shoulders. Hairstyles stopped being fanciful and started looking more like contemporaneous cuts, which would explain the disproportionate amount of mullets, and attire seemed straight out of Miami Vice. I suppose the look wasn't exclusively American, but it's hard to not make the connection, especially after watching something so saturated in the aesthetic like City Hunter. Starting off as a manga in the mid 80s, City Hunter spanned 4 television series, 3 television films, 2 OVAs, and 1 feature film. Make no mistake, this was a pretty big franchise back in the day, but City Hunter hasn't seen a new installment since 1999. So, what better time to introduce City Hunter to America than 2003? Yup, ADV Films attacked the anime market with an all-out City Hunter blitz, trickling some of the OVAs and specials in 2002, then releasing nearly 100 episodes of the TV series into the market, obviously expecting it to go over like gangbusters. And it didn't. Well, it's not like it bombed or anything, but when you're talking about anime in 2003, does City Hunter enter the discussion? Well, no, really. I have a feeling that if City Hunter was picked up in the early mid 90s, then maybe it would have had a stronger foothold in the fandom, instead of winding up being a badly dated curiosity like it is today. There were many entries in the franchise I could have wound up reviewing, but I chose the feature film 357 Magnum. Sad to say, it's not good. And I mean not good in the worst sort of way. It's not hilariously bad, it's not weird, it's not confusing, it just has a distinct lack of good. It's one of those films that after watching it, you can barely remember thing one about it. I'll do my best to make this review interesting, but rest assured you won't be seeing anything like the Street Fighter II scene in the Jackie Chan version of City Hunter. If only. The movie starts off with a couple of cops meeting their VIP at the airport. Apparently, he's got some kind of information that the Japanese government wants, and in exchange, he gets a neat, tidy sum and asylum.
You're Mr. Killiman, right?
Killiman? Is he a distant cousin of Chokabich?
We're your escort from the Metropolitan PD.
You're pretty careful, aren't you?
It's going to make me a fortune.
I don't think the police department has as much money as you're hoping.
If the police can't pay, the government better comes through. This item is worth a healthy sum.
Now let me through to your superiors. I hear they have ways of making me talk. Are we going to have to sit through a bunch of voice actors putting on really bad German accents, I hear you ask? Why, yes! Yes, we are. Okay, this has always bothered me. Why do dub studios insist on letting actors put on accents? If they're supposed to be speaking English, because that's what English sounds like when it's spoken by a German, or at least that's what this actor thinks it should sound like, then why the hell are they speaking English in Japan? I know that this is the dub and it's supposed to be English, but you're supposed to suspend your disbelief that Japanese people are speaking perfect American English. Accented English just exposes the artifice. At least to me. Besides, you never hear Japanese actors try to speak with a German accent. Not that I can even imagine what that would sound like.
No.
Damn it! Their meeting is interrupted by our soon-to-be female lead, who kind of reminds me of Chipmunk from Mad Bull 34, and it looks like she's something of a big deal.
What, is she a movie star or something?
She is Nina Schuttenberg from West Galliera.
Now I know what you're all thinking. West Galliera? Where the heck's that? Well, I'm here to tell you it's just north of Latveria, right on the border of Unterland. Suddenly, a shady man with a mustache shoots the briefcase off Killiman, and another guy makes off with it, all before he puts him down for the count. It looks like Mustache fancies himself a revolver with a silencer, which is dumb for many reasons. One, a silencer for a revolver is impractical because of the exhaust from the cylinder gap would create as much noise as the silencer would otherwise dampen. And two, silencers don't fucking work that way. Also, Killiman snuck a bomb in a nearby trash can, pretty much leveling the entire floor. Why? Reasons.
Damn! Nina! Where are you?
Oh, your granddaughter? Yeah, she left your ass. Good luck with the bomb, Grandpa! Peace out, motherfucker! Yeah, in the interim where she spies Killiman getting shot and the bomb going off, she magically teleported onto a bus, leaving her grandpa behind. Well, it looks like somebody isn't getting their after-dinner strudel. We hit the ground running in the opening credits, where we get a nice montage of our hero, Rio Seba, called Joe, because, well, ADV doesn't trust its actors to pronounce names right. I say it's the opening credits, but really, it looks like a straight version of the Schmidt's Gay commercial.
Now I'm a seaside, sitting just a smoking and a drinking, I'm ringside. I'm top of the world! Top of the world!
We join our heroes, Rio and Henpeck, attempting to find themselves a job. Together, they work as independent investigators, and right now, they're itching for some work. Of course, not so desperate that Henpeck would allow Rio to work for what she considers their main rival.
Hi, Joe. Long time no see. So, can I be your new client?
Wow! Of course, Reika! I would do anything for you!
Not a chance!
Oh, why not? Says here you're looking for clients.
We wouldn't work for our worst enemy even if we were starving to death.
Don't get your hopes up.
Don't you want to work with me?
So, you finally decided that you need me to be your partner.
Yes, in every sense of the word.
Whoa! Let's have our first meeting at the hotel!
Why there? At the hotel?
Well, at the hotel, we'd strengthen our relationship with special team-building exercises.
You and I still haven't done any team-building exercises.
Oh.
I want the D. I want to suck your hog. You want to go out for coffee? Really, these two characters, Rio and Henpeck, are the boat anchor that drags this movie down. Rio is a perverted gun for hire and cannot stop leering at women, and Henpeck plays the typical female foil and routinely expresses her distaste of his womanizing with violence. Because if it's funny the first time, it's bound to be funny the next dozen times.
So, you and Cory haven't laid much groundwork. Then maybe I can still lure you away from her. Call me up anytime.
Call you for Nookie?
Don't you dare! Sure, it looks like Henpeck embarrassed herself pretty badly back there, but I'm sure she'll find a healthy way to recover.
You would know a real woman if you say you were panties for Christmas! And it's not always that time of the month! Time to neuter Joe!
It's times like these I'm glad Japan doesn't have a Second Amendment. The plot actually gets started when Chipmunk finds Rio to try and hire him to find her long-since presumed dead father.
My mother was also a pianist, but she died 5 years ago due to illness. Before she passed away, she said something to me. She said, "Your father is alive, and he is in Japan." But I've never seen his name or face. I had asked my grandpa, who's working as my manager. All he told me is that my father died.
It's getting hard to place your accent here, Chipmunk. Are you from the bullshit side of West Galliera? Or the horseshit side? The only clue that Chipmunk here is able to give as to the identity of her father is her pendant, as it has his first initial on it.
I know, it's ridiculous.
Don't concentrate on the finger or you will miss all that heavenly glory.
We cut back to Mustache talking to his superior over the hit and run. Apparently, the briefcase had nothing in it, meaning the data that Killiman was planning to sell is still out there somewhere. Too bad Mustache iced him, otherwise they could have found out where he hid it.
He placed a small but extremely powerful bomb in a trash can by the flight gate. Had I let him live, he would claim the explosion was an assassination attempt by East Galliera. That would give him leverage to exchange the information for an even higher price. Did you intend to take responsibility for that?
So, wait. That's why Killiman put that bomb in the trash can? That's just stupid. Okay, first off, remember the good old days when you could smuggle a bomb onto a plane? Those were the days, right? Secondly, how in the hell would Killiman know to put the bomb in the trash can to set up the alleged fake assassination attempt? And why, if he set up the bomb, does he hover around the area where he could be killed? There was so much that could have gone wrong with this plan that no money would have been worth it. And who's to say that the government would have paid more? Thirdly, if he was trying to wrangle as much money as he possibly could, why is he trying to sell information to the Japanese government? Why wouldn't he try to sell it to the American government? Also, what the hell would the Japanese government do with this information? Give it to the UN? Why even bother with the Japanese in the first place? Lastly, how does Mustache even know that the whole bomb ploy was just a means to milk more money in the first place? This has been yet another pedantic moment with Sage. The ambassador here tells his blonde lackey to keep tabs on Mustache, and if he should find Killiman's files, he should take care of Mustache. Meanwhile, Mustache finds out that Killiman may have contacted Chipmunk and her grandfather before he was killed, which makes no sense whatsoever. A guy who is trying to sell out state secrets contacts a German pianist and her grandfather to possibly smuggle data into Japan. Fucking what?
Can you guarantee that you'll help me?
Absolutely! And if you don't come over tonight, you can add 2 special Nookie sessions to the all-night Nookathon that I already owe you. Bye!
All-night Nookathon? What the fuck did I just get through telling you? Oh no. Oh no. No, 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 no!
Call you for Nookie? I love Nookie!
I'll give you some nookie.
Yeah, my Nookie's less preferred than your coffee.
You can add 2 special Nookie sessions to the all-night Nookathon that I already owe you.
Woo, woo, how lucky I am! Nookie magnet, yeah, baby!
An ancient Japanese proverb says, the clever play hooky as the weak seek nookie.
So I'm willing to pay you in Nookie certificates.
You'll never get nookie with snot on your face.
My Nookie would never lose as a middle-aged mustache man! Time to Nookie size! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Alright, get a Nookie now! Nookie! I'm what you call Nookie dependent. Nookie time!
Never repress the counting gag. As you probably have noticed, there's a buzzword that permeates this movie, and it will never let you forget it. Of all the terms they could have used for having sex, they chose nookie. They could have said getting your candle waxed, dancing the mattress jig, doing the deed, sneezing the cabbage, knocking the bottom out, getting a portion, getting some tail, getting some ass, getting some action, getting lucky, greasing the pole, a little fanny fun, a little rumpy pumpy, making whoopee, making bacon, making love, making babies, fitting the wizard sleeve, playing the brown trumpet, hide the salami, giving her a dose of vitamin F, batter dip the corn dog, fit her claptrap, fix her plumbing, 69, 71, 74, taking her to Tuna Town, taking the chocolate speedway, giving her the high hard one over the bridge to Plimpton, taking her to Bosco Boulevard, making Voltron, fishing for brown trout, stabbing for poo, taking Grandma to Applebee's, putting Percy in the playpen, parking your yacht in her hair harbor, giving her the Greek uppercut, making the duck snort, putting on your Jimmy hat, and fucking. They could have used any one of those. And we cut to a completely unnecessary and painfully unfunny scene where Rio takes Chipmunk back home and plays Peeping Tom on her while Henpeck just thrashes him over and over again.
Your face isn't a washcloth! Oh, that might stain. You need to change.
But is Mr. Saiba all right?
Oh, don't worry. I do that a couple of times a day.
And we get to see it every single time it happens. This lame duck comedy is made even worse by the dub script, and I mean beyond the incessant nookie. It's typical ADV, and by that, I mean it shoehorns painful jokes and references where there wasn't any before.
I must increase my bust. The bigger the better.
Hey! Remember when that was a thing? Although ADV was infamous for this sort of shit, it wasn't like they were the only studio in town that did it. I wouldn't mind this practice so much if what they added was actually funny or clever, but it's always these lame references that try to be jokes, or lame jokes that fail to be funny. Not everything can be Crayon Shin-chan. Cut that shit out! Finally, Chipmunk gets it into her head that maybe she should check to see if her grandpa, who I remind you she left inside an exploding airport terminal, is alright in their hotel. Well, he is, but that was before Mustache and friend pay him a not-so-friendly visit.
Who's there?
Room service?
Room service? I didn't order anything from room service.
Which is exactly why I'm getting up to open my door. The situation grows tense, but Rio swoops in to save the day, and of course he's an absolute crackshot badass beneath the grating perversion. Of course he is.
Can you shoot, or is that gun just for fashion?
That does it! But how did you fire so quickly?
I drink a lot of coffee.
That joke was so bad, Richard Pryor rose from the grave just to kill himself again. You are re-killing comedy, good sir! Unfortunately, Rio notices that Mustache has him pinned down, but in comes Falcon here to park his Jeep between them and give Mustache the old stink eye. And this is somehow enough for Mustache to hightail it out of there. There is so much nothing that goes on in this film, and yet it somehow still finds fresh new ways to piss me off. God, we're only a half an hour into the film, and already We're half an hour into the film. We're only a half an hour into the film! How long is this review supposed to go anyway? The next day, Mustache tries to play the diplomat by approaching Chipmunk's grandpa and asking for whatever Killiman gave to him. This plan makes a surprising amount of sense. And I mean it. He tells him that by keeping it that he's just placing his granddaughter in unnecessary danger. It's obvious that the two have a history together, so much so that the grandfather decides to relinquish it after he's made the promise to leave his and Chipmunk's life forever. And it's at this inopportune time that Chipmunk runs into them.
I've been looking forward to your charity concert tomorrow. You're very talented.
That's so nice of you to say. Huh? His eyes are so sad. But what am I feeling?
Good God, this voice actress sucks. What did ADV do? Hire the woman that fixes the fax machine? Wait. I think I know that voice.
Why are you so upset? Is it because your father threw you off that cliff?
What would you say if I told you that I'd rather watch Tekken the movie twice than sit through this shit pile again? At least Tekken was funny. So, of course, we can take this all to mean that Mustache is really her father, but for some reason, her grandpa wants nothing to do with the man. Probably because he's a nice cold killer. You know, just a hunch. Before he can make good on his promise, though, the two are abducted by that blonde lackey of the ambassadors.
I promised Helson I would send it. Stop the car!
I advise you to stop distracting me. If you interfere with my driving, your granddaughter might not be able to play the piano ever again.
That's it.
What the? How the hell did Rio know which car they were abducted in? He wasn't there when they were held at gunpoint. He was in another part of the building entirely, confronting Mustache. There was simply no way for Rio to know which car to look for, let alone where the car was or where it was going.
Damn, shit! What was that?
Okay, not only did Rio magically divine the right car, but Mustache also had the fucking mystical foresight to know that he was going to drive down that particular road in the park. You know, I shouldn't be complaining, really. After all, this is the most interesting part of the movie. As much as I've been bagging on this movie, and I'm not done yet, I will say that there is a genuinely memorable moment to be had here.
Damn thing overheated!
Oh, shit! I don't think even Vash the Stampede was able to shoot a man in his gun barrel before. But, too bad the whole scene is undone by what happens next.
Come near her again and I will kill you. Now run.
Rio, you sure you don't want to turn this guy into the police? You really want to let this kidnapper who was trying to kill you just run off into the park? Yeah, you would, you fucking shit dick. Rio and the gang managed to coax the grandfather into telling them everything about how Mustache is Chipmunk's father and how he used her mother to cover up his spying activities years ago. Of course, this entire conversation is overheard by Chipmunk. And what do they follow this sobering scene with?
Hello, son! Time to nookie size! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Hate! What is with Rio's character? Fucking Quagmire doesn't have pussy on the brain as much as him. He's the most annoying pervert character I've ever seen. Withdrawn. I know that this is supposed to be funny, at least to the Japanese, but this isn't funny at all. It's just annoying. Even when Rio is supposed to get his comeuppance via a blunt object, the film runs this gag into the ground over and over again. So it's even more irritating. Fuck, it wasn't even funny the first time around, never mind the 12th time. Rio is either panting at the sight of a woman or being a run-of-the-mill 80s action hero. So when he's not obnoxious, he's boring. And when he's not boring, he's obnoxious. Count yourself lucky, Rio. The ambassador, finally having it up to here with his lackey's incompetence, sends out a platoon of jarhead mercenaries to get the job done. And judging by their eyes, they're either cartoonishly evil or it's 420. The platoon makes off with both the grandfather and Henpeck, and despite ridding himself of that annoying waste of space, Rio decides to rescue the both of them. Fortunately, if the head mercenary was any indicator, I don't think Grandpa and Henpeck are in any real danger.
I told you I don't know.
And I don't believe you, so don't grow too attached to this girl we found clinking to the bottom of our helicopter.
Clinking, Kay? What is this guy, German or Martian? Hearing these four actors talk is a trip and a half. It's like hearing dueling Schwarzenegger impressions.
Damn you to hell! That man Helson is a brazen liar.
Then tell us where it is, Klaus.
No! How much longer will you make us suffer until you're satisfied?
Ambassador Vandal, why did you break your promise with me?
You have been too slow on making progress on the mission.
And our unit is bored of just training. They were looking forward to enjoying an actual battle, but it was a little disappointing.
Well, at least none of them asked to see their papers.
Peppers?
What the shit, Barry? What?
We don't have any peppers.
Or earplugs, you idiot.
This is where the helicopter went to.
Wow, you're pretty good. It's a gorgeous athletics club called Étranger. Word has it that it started as a hobby of a billionaire from Europe. We've reason to believe that East Galliera is using this place as a cover for a training facility for their elite soldiers.
Then why hasn't the police department already done something about this place?
We couldn't move in. There was no evidence to be had.
Then why do you think this place is a training ground? You might as well have said that you think this mansion is the entrance to fucking Narnia. God damn it, the police are so fucking useless here. So, Rio and Falcon go commando on the compound, shooting the spit out of any henchman unlucky enough to get in their way. I want to get invested into this action scene, but the film, in its infinite wisdom, decided to splice this thrilling shootout with calm piano music played by Chipmunk and her father. And every time the film cuts between the shootout and the piano music, it's like a punch to the face. Like, imagine if Jinro were cut like this. And speaking of Jinro, my favorite part of this entire shootout is the fact that Falcon here is wielding a fucking MG, and yet it's not belt-fed, and he's not wearing a bandolier. Where the hell is that ammo coming from?
My god, doesn't that thing ever run out of bullets?
Falcon is just a death machine and plows through the mansion like he's playing Metal Slug. He even takes the Merc leader out by hurling a metal girder at him like a fucking javelin. Ooh! Why can't the film be about him? Instead, we have to settle for Rio as he's making his way to rescue Grandpa. And henpeck if he has to.
Somebody's coming.
Everything's ruined now because of your friends. You're coming with me.
Like hell we are. There's no way you're gonna use us for protection.
Fine, then you will both die here.
How come there's 4 of you? But of course, Rio shoots his other hand and again leaves him alive, which immediately backfires on him as the lackey crawls his way to the explosives room and sets it all off. And shit, son! One little explosives room is apparently enough to destroy the entire compound like it was shot by Vash's angel arm. With the mansion up in flames, Mustache finally reveals that he left Chipmunk's mother because of his dangerous life, and then challenges Rio to a duel, which of course he wins. It's really bullshit. Rio shoots him with this special bullet that has less gunpowder in it, so it only wounds him, that he apparently has for some reason. It's all for this tiring ending where it's revealed that he's alive and now he can join Chipmunk's life because everyone thinks he's dead, and I'm gonna choke on my own vomit. And what happened to the data that started this whole mess? Why, it's revealed that it was in Chipmunk's necklace, of course. But with the ambassador in custody and is to be sent to the country's concentration camps, I'm so not joking about that.
You will have an opportunity to explain yourself when we return. But I don't think you'll escape serving time in the concentration camps for all the harm you have caused.
I can't go to the camps.
The group decides they don't need to bother with the files anymore and just chuck the data into the ocean. What could have the ambassador been up to? Who cares? This shitball is over. I keep searching for the right words to express what it's like sitting through City Hunter. And I keep coming back to the wise words of Thornton Mellon.
That's it. I can't take it no more. I feel like I just gave birth to an accountant.
You said it. 357 Magnum is the very definition of a sit. It's not funny, it's not exciting, it's not entertaining, it's not anything. Well, onwards and upwards, hopefully, as next we'll tackle another title that has fallen by the wayside. Till next time.